Hi there, I'm Beth from messymarriage.com with another edition of Sloppy Joe Time. And today I'm talking about the sloppy expectation that I think is common among wives and women who want their husbands to be spiritual leaders, and maybe they feel like their husband isn't doing a good enough job with that, or maybe not leading at all. And in my case, my husband's a pastor, so you would think that wouldn't be an issue, but I think it's a very common issue among pastors' wives because, I mean, think about it. Husbands who are pastors have to lead spiritually all day long, all week long, and when they come home, they want to sit in their easy chair and coast a little bit. You can't really blame them for that at all, but in my case, I felt like there was seasons in our life where my husband was coasting a little too much or too often, and so I would nudge him and say, hey, let's do some family devotionals, and you got to hand it to him. He was on board for that, and so he planned these family devotionals. He took that on, and we would sit down with our boys, and this is when they were much younger. And if you know anything about trying to do family devotionals with children, you know how challenging it can be because they would be, kicking each other under the table or answering my husband's questions with some smart aleck response, or they would get bored, or maybe even start an argument with my husband, or sometimes he would start an argument with them. Yeah, some great spiritual moment we're having. And it was really because my husband was used to people listening and being respectful as he taught them. And here in his own home, he was not getting that respect. And so often he would get discouraged, and out goes the family devotionals. So here's where I also created another problem. I decided that, okay, well, I work with kids. I know how to deal with this, so I will get this covered. And I would come in with my own little family devotional, and I was undermining my husband's spiritual authority. And I think that is often the case. It may be that your spouse doesn't do family devotionals. They don't even want to go to church with you, and that's where you really struggle because you've been nudging them and it's turned into controlling or criticizing them for not going with you, and the opposite is happening. They don't want to darken the door of the church because you have made it such an issue. And I think that God wired our husbands to be the leaders in the family. That doesn't mean that they lord over us. They love us like Christ loved the church. At least they should. And so we need to honor them like the bride of Christ honors Christ, and really support and respect them, give them the room to lead out. If that's something you see in your own life, I hope you'll take my lead and just change the way you respond in those situations. Thanks so much for listening to another Sloppy Joe Time.